It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COWMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four and invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion, the elixir. Got devotion to all those who keep us showing up to witness. Spit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James quicker. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gon' teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gon' get through all these issues. Time for jaw jacking, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave it feeling charged. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's that live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, April 15th, tax day, 2025. This is Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief, and I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour, me, you, Augusta Del Dodo, Code Brew, the IRS, Restream Bot, MPN, Lionel Tellum, Honorable Ogum, Funky Monk down in Aussie, Code Brew in the Upstate, alongside Port Zero in the Upstate, and so many other Simply Cyber community member long-timers, friends, and first-timers. We're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner. So how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders ultimately? And bonus, level yourself up as a professional to make yourself the most marketable, high-end, high-value, kick-butt, desirable candidate in the pool. It won't even be a pool of candidates. It'll be you and a bunch of other people vying for second place. And if you're not working in the industry already, let me tell you, the show does have value for you as well. You're going to be asked in any single job interview, how do you stay current on the industry? This right here is an excellent way to stay current on the industry. It's as easy as that. There's no magic. There's no misdirection or anything like that. It's straight up, come in, put the work in, do the work, and, get the answers. So pay attention. We'll cover a bunch of stories. I'll try to go deeper on certain things. Chat is always popping off, as you can see directly above my head, swelling like a raging river here. Lots of great professionals, lots of great people in chat. So if I don't have an answer, they most certainly will, as well as sharing resources, tips, tricks, and just little nuggets of knowledge. That's what it's all about here, leveling up 1% at a time. Now, I want you to know, in addition to the cool retro synth vibes that you're being exposed to right now, I don't actually research or prep for any of the stories that are coming down the pike. And you might think that puts me at a disadvantage, but au contraire, mon frere, allow me to point out that getting the, in my opinion, the initial raw reaction really does give insight into the techniques for ingesting threat intelligence as an individual, not as a system. Because it's like, what is it about this that's interesting? And a quick little shout out. CJ out of Las Vegas, the ambassador from the Las Vegas local group, told me this like 2 years ago. I've mentioned it a few times, but I haven't mentioned it in a while. One thing that CJ likes to do is hear the story, pause, right? And then think about what he thinks would be the interesting thing to pull out and then he'll play it and see what I say. And not to say make it a game, but kind of see how your thought processes work and stuff like that. So it's all about good time. Honestly, I just don't have time.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Got too much going on up in here. Kimberly can fix it in mod chat, so let's party. Now, before we get into it, I do want to say shout out and thank you to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring this hot pink neon blue vibe to you every single morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Those brands, not just that sponsor the show and enable me to do all sorts of the fun things that we do here on the show, but also I believe in them. I promise you, if I work with a company, it's not a company that I despise or would not recommend to a friend. So let's do our ad reads really quickly, and when I come back, we'll talk about how this show can solve your CPE problems. Also, bonus, it is Tuesday. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and today is Tidbits Tuesday, so look for that. I have a fun one. It's a very, very enjoyable activity that I do that I don't talk about very often. I had an opportunity to do it yesterday. It was definitely a high five. Looks like my feed is frozen now, so that's undesirable. Let me know if you can still hear me, because now looks like we might have to reboot here. Let me know if you have audio. Here, let's just do this. Let's do this. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other, all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. All right, also gonna pretend like that, we're just going to pretend that that didn't happen. I also want to say shout out and love to Delete Me. Now, you guys may or may not know Delete Me, but I use Delete Me. I've been using them for about, I don't know, since August last year. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Data brokers make a profit off your money if you didn't know. It's kind of gross. Your data is a commodity. Data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. But now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. As someone who has an active online presence, a social media channel, and I'm out there, public speaking and stuff, privacy is really important to me. More for the protection of my kids and my wife than myself. I mean, I'll run head on into something. But my kids didn't ask for this. My wife didn't ask for this. It's just, so I like to take advantage. It's called risk mitigation, people, right? Risk mitigation. If you have an opportunity to pretty easily outsource managing your online privacy, why not give it a shot? Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for Simply Cyber listeners. You can get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, code simplycyber. All right, we're going to do the We'll do the ad read for Barricade Cyber at the mid-roll. I'll tell you about their Fortify 365, their Windows Forensics. It's all about good times. Guys, every single episode is worth half a CPE. I do want to say shout out. Just shout out yourself. Say what's up on chat right there, like the Pain says. And you can grab a screenshot, file it away once your account. The screenshots divide by 2, simple as that. Just so everybody knows, I use OBS to control this look and feel of the show. And my audio goes directly into the platform we're streaming from. The OBS crashed while I was doing that, but because the video ads are pumped directly into this platform I stream on, they're local, not through OBS. So TLDR, while I was playing the ad videos, I was like frantically rebooting and getting OBS back up and running. So this is what business continuity looks like, and also doing it with a little bit of style. I am wearing a boring ass shirt today. Sorry, kids. I'm wearing a boring A shirt today because I do have to go to the Citadel and teach, and I'm not allowed to wear cool hacker shirts, but you know, gotta look the part, as it were. Guys, if today's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. Let us know. Do want to say shout out to Jesse Johnson, mod chat. All right. Thank you, John R. Big fan. All right, guys, do me a favor. Let's get on to this. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. If you are a first timer, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. If you've been a lurker and you've never really chatted, today's your day, my friend. Hashtag first timer. Take that first step. Don't be shy. See what it feels like. I'll tell you what, if you're doing something that's making you uncomfortable, chances are you're growing. All right, I see Sam Suyula, first timer. Sam, welcome to the party, pal. Long timers, first timers, squad members, if you can, please welcome Sam Suyula to chat, along with Vamula Saint and Thready. I love it. Alana Boyjan's here. Let's go. All right, let's go.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. I'm Rich Straffolino. AI code dependencies are a supply chain risk. Security researcher Seth Larson coined Slopsquatting to describe this new software supply chain attack type. Similar to typo squatting, these attacks see threat actors proactively creating malicious packages on indexes named for ones commonly made up by LLMs when generating code. This isn't as much as a phishing expedition as it might initially sound. The rate of LLM software package hallucinations varies widely between the LLMs. Some open source LLMs create hallucinated packages over 35% of the time, while commercial models can hit rates of less than 5% depending on the programming language. A recent research paper from Socket on hallucinated software packages found 58% of hallucinated packages were repeated more than once across 10 runs of the same code generation prompt. To their credit, both GPT-4 Turbo and DeepSeek were able to correctly identify hallucinated packages the models themselves created with over 75% accuracy.
Now, when I wrote graffiti, my name was Slop. Okay, little Beastie Boys reference. For those who know, you know what I'm talking about. Immediately what I thought of when I saw the word slop. What's up, Phantom 4? Good to see you. Welcome to the party. Okay, so this is actually a really interesting attack technique. And honestly, this is a perfect example of why I personally self-identify as not good at offensive security or thinking outside the box. This is a really, really cool attack, okay? And I'm not saying cool in the sense that, like, let's go threat actors, you win. Just cool in its innovation and novelness. So, you know, say what you will. I feel like the term slop squatting doesn't really make a lot of sense. I could honestly, I'm surprised it didn't get called vibe squatting, since vibe is being thrown all over the place. But here is the TLDR. And guys, for you GRC Mafia people, this is a phenomenal example that you can bring up in a meeting around, I wouldn't call it supply chain risk. So like it says supply chain risk, but like, here's the deal. when I'm using AI to code up something, AI is very confident. And say you ask a Gemini to make you a tool that scrapes a website and then, whatever, prioritize, gives you like the vibe of the language of the website or something like that, okay? Whatever. There is a very, very popular web scraping Python library called Beautiful Soup. And if you never heard of Beautiful Soup, that's okay. You don't have to know it. Just know if you've ever messed around with web scraping, you most certainly know what Beautiful Soup is. It's like the very first thing people encounter. So if you were to write in Gemini, hey, write up a Python code that does X, Y, and Z, and there's web scraping involved, it probably would use Beautiful Soup because it's well known. Now, if you asked AI to make put together a program that's, whatever, what's a good example? Can read in, like, let's just say read in a bunch of photographed recipes and then output recipes based on caloric outtake or something like that, right? Like just something, I'm making something silly up, but something that is not, common or whatever. Well, the AI might say import OCR reader.python, and that Python library doesn't exist at all. But, it's saying it confidently and it'll call a function from that. So what is happening here is that threat actors are going out and creating OCR, read.py and saving it right into like PyPy or NPM or wherever it is. So then when somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing is vibe coding and they pull down this library as an import and it works, they feel great about themselves. But in reality, the threat actor is basically set up essentially a rabbit trap, if you will, to catch the victim. And the victim's going to bring them right into the hen house, right? It's almost like, honestly, it's like coming up with the barnyard examples. It's very much like a threat actor dressed like a wolf, putting on a sheep outfit. And the sheep outfit is this like unknown, never previously written Python library or code library, and then waiting for the farmer to import the sheep from the field and bring them into the yard or into the barn, right? That's exactly what it is. I know that's like such a silly metaphor, but I'm telling you, it's the threat actor's the wolf, the library is the sheep thing, and they don't automatically get pulled in. They're just hanging out in the field. And then the farmer is the programmer who just blatantly imports that wolf right into the main code base of the barn. And then, you basically are pushing infected code everywhere. Now, they said in the video or the recording that this is less of a kind of untargeted, spurious attack than you would think. That is not true. What the reporter was saying is that this is less of a spurious attack than you would think. That's in that guessing what libraries would get imported. If you do I guess they looked at these different LLMs, and a lot of them are making up or hallucinating the same fake libraries to import. So that actually, okay, that makes it so you don't guess what libraries. You get a nice list of libraries. What is a, spray and pray kind of thing is what developers are going to be importing that. Like, you can't guarantee that I'm going to be the one who's vibe coding and accidentally pulls in your library, or, whatever, the secretary of the Department of Defense is vibe coding. That's an extremely silly example, but my point is, you don't know who the human is and what value that they, could potentially unlock for the threat actors. So what I will say is I definitely think it's cool though. Okay. Like, this is really smart. This is really, 4D chess type moves. And this is why, honestly, I think it's a great conversation. Everybody's talking about AI. You can't walk like 10 feet without getting slapped in the face with like an AI conversation. This is a cool, new, hot twist on it, and one that people can wrap their head around. Let's go. Oh, by the way, as far as defending from this, you can't. You can't. Educate people in your business about this. The problem is you're going to be buying software products from other people who you can't control how their developers work, and their developers might be vibe coding and importing these malicious things, which would then be more of a supply chain risk because now you're going to bring their code in to your environment and be compromised natively. Defense in depth, as always, everybody. EDR solutions, endpoint detection and response, threat hunting. Let's go.
Morocco investigates Social Security leak. The Moroccan National Social Security Fund disclosed that a cyber attack caused a significant amount of data to be leaked on Telegram. Local media reports that over 54,000 files were exfiltrated from the fund, resulting in data leaked on almost 2 million individuals. This information includes names, national ID.
Oh my God, hold on. The URL in the story is incorrect. Rawr. Sloppy. Let's go. All right. There we go.
Numbers and bank account details. Officials do say that some documents on Telegram contain false, inaccurate, or truncated information. The threat actor's Java root took credit for the attack, but officials did not publicly attribute it. European Commission.
Hold on, I was too busy trying to overcome the adversity here. Morocco investigates major data breach. Okay. Morocco, Northern Africa. I do know that one. Never been to a Moroccan restaurant, but I've heard good things. Good spice. Okay. So the Moroccan government got hacked, basically, and Algeria got it. Honestly, I don't know the politics or the world dynamics of Morocco and Algeria. I don't know if they have beef. You know, I don't know if this is like a Biggie Tupac thing or if this is more just like, just a crime of opportunity. I'm looking here to see if there's anything here. A zero-day exploit or vulnerability in third-party software, possibly involving Oracle-based systems. So they don't know how this thing got compromised, but a website also. So, all right, so check this out. Okay, so I guess there's a lot of beef around Western Sahara between the two countries. And Marco Rubio's down from Morocco's autonomy for the Western Sahara region under its sovereignty. Okay, so Algeria doesn't like... Algeria's taking a stand. Okay, so this is a little bit of a hacktivism / whatever. Algeria broke in, stole a bunch of data. Not sure if they have any... I'm not sure if they have like... If it was just a crime of opportunity where they're like, oh, we'll just hack your government and drop all your social security numbers. Like, not with the intent of committing identity theft or, using that as input into another. They're not going to pipe that list of Moroccan citizens into another attack, it would appear, because they also defaced the website, which is very, very obvious, right? Like when they said they might have used a 0-day. When you use a 0-day to crack in and then steal data, you typically, when you're nation-on-nation action, you're looking more for a espionage, kind of quiet on the wire move. When you deface the public website, guess what? You pretty much are, like, it's like robbing someone's house and then taking a crap on their doorstep. Like, they know you were there, okay? Like, it's unmistakable that you were there. And that's what Algeria's done. It definitely seems like it's more of a kind of an opening slap against this move that Morocco is making into the Western Sahara. Not a lot here as far as cybersecurity goes. They have no idea how it happened. But, it just goes to show you, again, my mouse has just died. I still have my wired one plugged in, but I dropped it behind my computer. And, like, to get back there is... I'd have to pack a lunch and, call Jack London. So not much here. Sorry, everybody. Just interesting.
Increases security measures for U.S.-bound staff. The Financial Times' sources say that the European Commission will issue burner phones and strip-down temporary laptops to staff coming to the U.S. for the IMF and World Bank spring meetings next week due to higher surveillance and espionage risks. The EC usually takes these kinds of precautions when staff are heading to China or Ukraine. An EC spokesperson confirmed it recently updated its security advice, but did not confirm any specifics. A ruling by the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals expanded the government's ability to search devices at the border without a warrant way back in 2011 under the Obama administration, so this doesn't appear to be a reaction to new surveillance powers per se, but how they're being applied.
All right, well, I get nothing. I get nothing except the headline for this story, so really going to be taking some liberty. Yeah, this is interesting. The European Union, which last I checked was like friends with the United States. So that's weird. Is issuing burner phones. So if they are taken at the border, if malware is loaded on them, if law enforcement takes them and scans them for whatever, then the amount of risk exposure is mitigated. Why they're afraid of the United States spying on them? I mean, again, this isn't a political show, but just I got gray in my beard, so I do pay attention. This does seem interesting, and not one that I saw coming. Here's what I would tell you: if you have VIPs, right? And it doesn't have to be like the CEO who's riding in a, murdered out Maybach in the back seat or something. Like it could just be your lead developer who's like got the biggest brain and they're inventing the things that like your business is making the most money off of, right? It could be that, right? Could be CEO and CFO not being together at the same time. Whatever, it doesn't matter. If you have VIPs, be aware. Be aware when they do travel, whether it's to a foreign country or to a conference. A lot of times you'll hear, oh, hey, if you're going to Black Hat DEF CON, bring a burner laptop, bring a burner phone. You don't want to get it compromised and, whatever. So this is literally just a risk exposure move. Like GRC Mafia all day, every day. If you are looking like, basically, let me make this as boring as possible, okay? This burner phone right here, all it is a control. That's it. The control is expensive because you have to issue new phones. You have to distribute them. You have to make sure all the staff who receive the phones can make phone calls and that they're working, that there's no impact to availability of communication. But by doing that, you reduce the risk of exposure, data leakage, data breach, all of those, malware being loaded on and leading to lateral movement, like all of those things. This is a lot of times why some people will have a work phone and a personal phone, because they're managing that exact same risk, but for their own individuality, right? It's just, dude, all day, every day. This is just a control. If you've been having a tough time wrapping your head around GRC and what controls are, issuing burner phones is a control. All right. Again, I don't know why.
Celebrating Tax Day with a scam. A report by The Record found that several cybersecurity firms have seen an increase on tax-based AI-driven scams focused on both taxpayers and preparers. These use AI-enabled voice and video phishing attacks to impersonate officials from the IRS or accountants to obtain financial documents, on top of text-based phishing that we usually see around this time of year. Usually, these schemes direct victims to create profiles on fake IRS portals and upload sensitive information. Consumer-level deepfake tools allow threat actors to scale their operations while increasing the believability of their scams.
All right. So this is a get your Beauty and the Beast sound bits ready. This right here is a story as old as time, a song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the AI produced audio to impersonate tax preparers during IRS tax season's beast. Okay, all day, every day. Every tax season, threat actors go ham on trying to do all sorts of IRS scammy stuff. There is mad amounts of money floating around. This is a new technique using current technology. AI produced audio. Okay, guys, it sucks. And again, they usually target senior people or like less tech savvy people and rip them off. I myself had a threat actor file my taxes. Oh, thanks, Sam. Sam's a first timer and just became a squad member. Look at this guy. Hey, Sam. Dude, I've had 2 years ago, I think 2022, 2023 tax year, some threat actor filed my taxes.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gerald Auger, and I would like to file my taxes.
The problem is I owed like $8,000. So please do my taxes, threat actor. They put the tax paperwork down on the ground and then backed away slowly instead of paying my $8,000 debt that I had to the government. So it does happen. Now I didn't fall for a tax preparer impersonation. They just got my socials because my information's out there. The Pains, Blue Squad, renewing. Thanks, buddy. So guys, here's the deal. This is why I don't pick up phone calls, right? And the IRS isn't going to call you and leave a voicemail. The IRS, and again, this doesn't really apply to anyone outside the United States, but I would assume it's similar in other countries. I can't guarantee it. The IRS will send you official mail, right? There's there's workflows for it. So, this is one, I know we already hit Thanksgiving time frame, and I know a lot of people are already sending their taxes out because today is tax day. But if you can, unfortunately, this friggin' story is like too late. Like, this would have been a great story a month ago to share with family and loved ones over the holidays, or, if you're going somewhere for Easter, you can mention this to them, but like basically the horse is out of the barn already if they've gotten hit by it. So let me know if anyone has received this type of attack from a tax advisor. Do not share sensitive information. Do the best you can. I know these TurboTax and like H&R Block and stuff offer these great services for you to file your taxes, but threat actors are going to jump on everything. Oh, this is another one. They didn't say this in the story. Oh my gosh. My freaking mouse just died. Guys, the struggle's real with this mouse. Just really quick, there is still time to get in front of this one. There was talk. Again, I don't know what's going on with Doge and Elon Musk. It seems like they're like slowly backing out of Elon being part of anything. But there was a minute where they were talking about issuing like $5,000 per person tax credits or like basically just sending checks out to every U.S. citizen for $5,000 from like the savings that we got from all the Doge cuts. Honestly, I think that was more of a like a mollifying agent where like everybody gets in on the action. But what I will say is if they do move forward with issuing, checks to every U.S. citizen, kind of the way they did during COVID, be on the lookout. Educate your family and loved ones and your business stakeholders. That is a perfectly ripe opportunity for threat actors to intervene and do all sorts of attacks, because every individual is going to get $5,000, or roughly every individual, right? So it doesn't matter who the threat actor hits. They can literally close their eyes
and be like, "Ooh, boom, oh, I hit someone with a check," right? So
if everyone's getting it, the uptick in activity on trying to target people with attacks around getting that money, whether it's saying that the money was given to them mistakenly, or that they're actually due more than the money they got, or whatever. I could see an uptick in the click fix attacks coming up, all that stuff. So, all right. So Chris Rock shares, he says he went to Saudi. I guess he said Saudia. I'm guessing Saudi Arabia. And he said all his phones got attacked. Cert issues popping up everywhere on the LT network. Yeah. So definitely, guys, I would say if you are somewhere that's like, new, like a foreign country or some high stakes meetings or something like that, and you're seeing like dodgy stuff on your phone, dodgy stuff on your computer, be on the mind, right? Be careful. Shields up.
And now a huge thank to our sponsor, Vanta. Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Like, right now?
Oh my God.
We know that real-time visibility is crucial for security. When it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across over 35 frameworks, like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows, like policies, access reviews, and reporting. And it helps you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC.
No.
Get started at vanta.com/headlines. That's VANTA.com/headlines.
GRC Mafia, stay strong. Stay strong, GRC Mafia. Hey, you first timers. Sam, new squad member. John R., I think it was Viper or Phantom 4. We do this every day at the mid-roll. Oh, yeah. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank you all so much for being here. Holla. Guys, I want to say thank you to all of you. I don't know how we got so many first-timers today, but I freaking love it. I hope you first-timers are having a great first time here today. Love seeing a lot of the long-timers, right? I mean, I can't name you all because there's 480 of you here right now, but I mean, just right now in front of my face, Alpha Sierra, Drum Major, Dennis Keefe, Steve Young, Funky Monk, Chris Rock, Becky Gaylord, Becky giving a talk in Boston, KP, DP's definitely around the corner, Tech Grunt, Dan Catledge, Jason Eyestone, Blood, Sweat, and Rage as always, Cam. Guys, love it, love it, love it. Dream Logic, I love you too, man. Or ma'am. You know, it's so cool. So great. Coffee cup cheers, everybody. All right, really quick, we do have Tidbits Tuesday, but I teased out the Barricade Cyber ad read, guys. There's still time. If you didn't know, Barricade Cyber, who's run by Eric Taylor, who's actually going to be doing the jaw jacking at the top of the hour, he's actually running a free-to-attend practical skills webinar on April 17th. So this Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Literally, he's going to show you exactly how to do forensics on the Windows recycling bin. Now listen, everybody knows what Windows is. Everybody knows about the silly little recycling bin in the corner. But did you know when you throw something in there, an empty recycling bin, it doesn't really delete it. It just removes the file links or the file linkage in the operating system. You can go data mine that stuff. All your base belong to us. If you want to learn that skill and hang out with a bunch of cool people, definitely make this webinar. You will not regret it. Guys, I will be at Amazon buying a new mouse because I'm so angry at this one. Windows Recycle. I'm so mad at this. Here's the link. Get some of that. All right, guys. Hey, every single day of the week has a special... Well, oh yeah. And thank you, Barricade Cyber, Delete Me, Antisyphon, and ThreatLocker. Every single day of the week has a special segment. And Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday, where I share a little bit about myself and we see if we vibe on it. By the way, I was saying vibe on it long before vibe coding. All right, check it out. Yesterday, I punched out of work a little early and took the family to the Minecraft movie. The Minecraft movie, Jack Black, Jason Momoa. This thing's blowing up in the United States right now. My kids were super geeked out about going to this movie. I love it. The Tidbits Tuesday is... Even though I don't like, I don't really, if you didn't know this, I don't eat sweets. I don't really eat sugar or anything like that. Like desserts, I don't do. I don't get birthday cakes, all that crap. But when I go to the movie theater, without question, I'm getting a large popcorn with a unhealthy amount of butter and salt on it and a large soda. And I consume all of it. I consume like 70 ounces of soda and like literally like a kilo of popcorn, and I have no regrets. I come out, I got butter on my hands, my face, my shirt's ruined. I literally choose my outfit to wear to the movies based on how much I don't care about the outfit because I'm going to destroy it and I don't care. Give me some. All right. So a lot of Boysians seen it. Chicken Jockey. By the way, can I just tell you, it is a very entertaining movie. Jason Momoa is wonderful in this movie. And for anyone who's seen it already and knows like what my vibes are, Jason Momoa is like personifying retro synthwave in that movie. It's like, it's so good. It's so good. All right, let's go. Alpha Sierra is going to lead us off. Oh my God, that's so funny. I love that, like, I love that we're in a safe space where people are just coming out of the woodwork. They're like, I dress like a slob at the movies. Just like, we're different, whoever said it, like, we're different people at the movies. So funny. Yes, I don't go to the movies often, but when I do, oh boy, it is an experience. By the way, like, just shout out the local movie theater. Like, you can't, well, another thing really quick. Sorry. This is bonus Tidbits Tuesday. The fact that you like reserve the seat and buy ahead of time now, thank God. You have no idea how much I hated that stuff. I hated like going to the movies and then like having a mess around and find a seat. Also, just so everyone knows, shout out to my wife, Mrs. Auger, who basically has accepted and made the concession that she's willing to accept this part of my reality. I have to get to the movies at least 30 minutes before the movie starts. At least 30 minutes before the movie starts. Like, I am anxious. If it's 45 minutes till movie and I'm still at home, I'm anxious. I need to build my setup, okay? And I need the lights on for me to properly build my camp in that chair. I'm not moving. Kids, go to the bathroom beforehand. Here's a bunch of, gummy bears and sweet snacks, whatever you want. We're not moving. I'm fully embedded in this foxhole of a chair for the next hour or two. All right, let's go. It feels good to get that off my chest.
Dialysis firm hit with ransomware attack. DaVita is a major provider of kidney dialysis and other care services in the U.S. with over 2,600 outpatient centers. According to an SEC disclosure, it suffered a ransomware attack on April 12th that impacted some operations. The company did not announce any disruption to care facilities due to the attack. It said it began investigating the attack, and there's no word on whether any data was stolen in the attack or if any ransom was paid. So far, DaVita has not named any group behind the attack, and no groups have claimed credit.
Hold on, come on. Colt? All right. Oh, it's DaVita, not Viva La Vida. Oh, I see. My bad. Kidney dialysis. Guys, I'm pretty sure this DaVita company has like a lockdown on the kidney dialysis scene. Again, it's so funny. Like when we went out fishing on Sunday and you're like driving through the harbor and there's all these like ridiculous mansions on the corner of the peninsula and you're like, what does that guy do? Like, what does that guy do to buy that property and house? And they're like, oh yeah, like that guy's got a lock on the kidney dialysis scene. You're like, sure, why not? And like that dude over there is like heir to the Junior Mint's fortune. But whatever. Okay, so DaVita's definitely the spot jam rock. They got hit with an attack. Dude, they have a massive footprint. 2,600 outpatient treatment centers, 76,000 employees. This is no joke, dude. $12 billion in annual revenue. Now, they are a juicy threat target. Or threat actor target for a ransomware attack. Some of their systems were encrypted. Let's see. Okay. I'm seeing if they did data exfil as well. All right. So they don't know if patient data has been stolen yet. Okay, so two things to be aware of. Number one. Oh, okay, so I'm getting confirmation here that from Eric Taylor that data was stolen. So a couple things you need to know. Number one, this is a $12 billion company. So first off, they definitely have money to invest in cybersecurity. Second of all, they probably did invest in cybersecurity, but they do have residual risk. Everybody has residual risk. The threat actors executed what's called a double extortion attack, where they have encrypted the file systems of the data as well as done data exfil. So you can either pay to get your keys back and or pay to not have your data released that's been stolen. Either way, it doesn't appear that DaVita has commented publicly on whether or not they're going to pay to not have that data out. Shout out to DaVita. They had only some systems encrypted and they were able to maintain operational capabilities, which is basically providing dialysis for people who need it, which is a life-saving treatment. So, I'm glad that people aren't dying because of this ransomware attack. So that's great. Business continuity, cyber resiliency. Shout out to all of them. The other thing I would say here is, and this is kind of obvious to everybody, but I feel like it's so obvious we don't say it very often, but it warrants being brought into the light for a hot minute. The threat actors, whether on purpose or accidentally, hit the company on the weekend. So remember, you typically, people like their weekends. People like working 9 to 5. When you become more senior and you can tell the guy below you, I'm working 9 to 5 and you're working the weekend because I have seniority. Well, that's fine. But the junior guy has less experience and less ability to respond quickly. And you have a skeleton shift, right? So normally we man 6 people, but on the weekends we just have one person on call. Well, if the person on call is, goes to the beach and they're on call, but they don't see the message until an hour later, some real damage can be done. So just be aware that you have to be vigilant 24/7. Threat actors don't give a damn that you punched out at 5 o'clock. Threat actors don't give a damn that it's Easter and you're at church. They don't care that it's Christmas Day. If anything, they prefer those type of attacks because they know that you're going to be less prepared to handle it. So again, I know it's like kind of obvious in our industry about weekends and holidays, but it is worth noting. And if you've had to work a, kind of a tough shift, whether it was a holiday, a weekend, overnight, in a SecOps capability, and you're in chat right now, let us know. Kind of like the extreme example. Would love to see and hear those just so people can see that. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Got all excited.
Flaw in WordPress plugin exploited in 4 hours. On April 10th, researchers at PatchStack disclosed a critical flaw in the SureTriggers WordPress plugin that allows unauthorized users to create admin accounts due to improper validation of the ST authorization HTTP header. Effectively, when a site did not define an internal secret key, the plugin returned null values for both the header and the key, treating them as a match. SureTriggers patched the flaw, but PatchStack saw exploitation begin within 4 hours of release through the plugin's APIs. SureTriggers developers recommend patching ASAP and looking for modified content on sites.
Oh my God. Elliot Matisse, my man, I'm right there with you, dude. Gotta be early. I like super anxiety on, all right. So WordPress plugin called SureTriggers. That's the keyword here. So ask around, send it around. You can't really, as far as I know, there's no scanner that can scan for WordPress instances in your environment and then find out what plugins there are. But if you can find WordPress instances in your environment, you should be able to follow up with the application owner at minimum and find out what the heck's going on. This is a really nasty one because it allows unauthenticated users to create admin accounts. Now, that's not remote code execution, but when you're unauthenticated, you're basically just like, a hobo walking down the street, and then you can create an admin account where you snap your fingers and now you're the king of the castle. That's a problem, because once you're the king of the castle, you can do whatever you want. You're like the key maker in the Matrix, right? You can open doors, open accounts. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Hold on. I need both hands. I got one hand on a coffee cup, but Eric Taylor's got it. Eric Taylor's got it. Here we go. This SureTriggers remote WordPress plugin means one thing only. Threat actors.
I'm the captain now. Look at me.
Dude, I abuse this flaming donkey sound effect. I love it. Shout out to Casually Joseph for getting this mixing board stood up. TLDR, guys, this isn't good. Now, listen, if they get admin access to a WordPress plugin, what does that mean? Well, for sure, the WordPress the friggin' server that the WordPress is on is likely popped. The admin account is just to WordPress, so that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get under WordPress into the operating system. But, you know, let's be honest. Like, once you kind of got a foothold, I'm sure there's WordPress exploits that allow you to kind of get underneath the hood. Or you can install other, kind of like malicious plugins and stuff like that. It's also a foothold. Remember, this is an internet-facing website potentially. Someone gets in there, now they have a foothold into your organization, right? That WordPress plugin may have backlinks, through whatever database server or something like that, sensitive information. So just be aware. Unfortunately, this particular tool had an exploit within 4 hours. They said, I find that interesting, right? I mean, obviously. The thing is, like, the update had to come out, and then a security researcher had to like instantly start looking for it. But also, we always talk about protection mechanisms, like, oh, get in front of this, find out, and then harden them. You probably got to patch it, obviously.
You gotta patch it.
But I want to point out, don't sleep on threat hunting, right? As part of your thing, when you find this WordPress plugin, SureTriggers, go look to see if there's a new admin account, right? That's what it allows you to do, is create an admin account. So just take a minute, look at WordPress and see if there's weird admin accounts. It's an indicator of compromise.
ResolverRAT hits healthcare. Morphosec Labs researchers discovered a new campaign targeting healthcare and pharmaceutical firms with a new ResolverRAT malware. First observed on March 10th, this campaign uses localized phishing lures using regionally specific languages and messages to get higher click-through, using lures related to legal investigations. ResolverRAT starts off with the DLL sideloading technique to launch an in-memory loader and then communicate to a C2 server. These communications prove resilient with an IP rotation system to connect to alternate servers in the event of a takedown, and using certificate pinning and irregular beaconing patterns to avoid detection. Once communication is established, ResolverRAT attempts to exfiltrate data in 16 kilobyte chunks. Researchers found ResolverRAT shares infrastructure and overlapping delivery mechanisms with Luma and Radamanthus malware.
Well, this is pretty.
Chrome.
This is pretty gnarly. Hey, Ryan Tidwell, veteran and student, loves the channel and helping him through some major concept struggles. You're the best. Oh, thanks, dude. Ryan Tidwell in the hizzy. Also, hold on. I got to wrap this up. Ryan Tidwell, don't go anywhere. I actually have something really cool I want to share with everybody. I've got beta testers going through it right now, but one of them's already done, and the other one I think is almost done. So this is actually a nice kind of like ResolverRAT. I've never heard of this malware load before, but this is actually a really cool piece of malware. Again,
This is not Threat Actor Academy. I'm not endorsing doing malicious criminal activities. I just hat tip.
listen, this one's interesting. First, it starts, you get phished, okay? So, hello, this is why phishing is like so gnarly and why we need to protect, educate, do all the things around phishing risk mitigation. However, it does a DLL sideload attack. So the phish is going to get a victim to download some type of DLL or dynamic link library, which is basically a Windows portable executable that you can't double click. Like other applications double click the DLLs and load them up. Okay, I'm not going to get into why DLLs exist. They are really good. Okay, there's a great reason for them. But when you do side loading attacks, you basically have like a Trojanized version of a DLL, and you overwrite the existing good DLL. So when an application like Calculator reaches into a DLL in order to like, create memory space or something like that, the malicious DLL runs, does what it's supposed to do, but then also does other bad stuff. That's what's happening here. Now, why I think this one is particularly good is because, number one, when it runs, basically all it does is create a piece of malware that runs in memory. So it's called a fileless malware. It's not written to disk. It's only in memory. Okay? So your anti-malware solutions that scan files coming in, it's not going to see that because there's no file. It's literally just in memory. Number two, it uses an irregular beaconing pattern. If you've ever heard of beaconing, it's basically how compromised assets communicate to C2 or command and control servers, the infrastructure that threat actors use in order to see all of their compromised assets and be able to push payloads and stuff. If you've ever seen the way a freaking lighthouse, like this is a simple example, but I think it's really going to drive home. If you've ever seen a lighthouse, right? Or you've seen a radio tower with a red light on top, you probably never really noticed it, but it has a certain like heartbeat almost, right? It's coming around. It's very predictable. It's very patterned. Well, beaconing for threat actor C2 nodes has that same cadence, right? Like it's a timer. Every 5 minutes, reach out. Every 5 minutes, reach out. Because of that regularity, that's not very human looking. It's very machine looking. And because of that, we're able to see that using tools like Rita, or you could go whole hog and go threat hunting yourself. This particular malware is aware of that detection and uses an irregular heartbeat pattern. So that's really interesting. Hold on one second. That's really interesting. Hold on one second. Now I got to do this. Sorry, I'm doing this in real time. I just had like an alert. Okay. Neighborhood kid. There was another thing about it that I thought was really interesting. Hold on one second. Hold on. All right, so, they are attempting to attack Hindi, Italian, Czech, Turkish, Portuguese, Indonesia. It's not just English, okay? There was something else about this that I thought was really interesting. Oh, yeah. It uses an IP rotating scheme for its C2 nodes. So a lot of times C2 nodes, like basically their C2 is out on the internet, right? The threat actor controlled asset is on the internet. So your victim machine needs to reach out to it. The C2 node that's on your victim machine needs to know where to go. And you can use domain names and reach out, but if those get popped, they get burned and then the threat actor can't communicate. If you use hard-coded IP addresses and you lose your infrastructure, can't communicate. So the threat actor, this isn't a new technique, but they have a bunch of IP addresses and they just rotate through them. So if you find a beacon, here's the deal. It's such an FU to SecOps people. If you are you're Wade Wells, right? You're Eric Taylor, and you find a victim machine, right? It's doing bad stuff, and you're like, we found you, and you look in the network logs to see what this machine's been communicating with, and you find it's been talking to, 2.2.2.2, right? Pivoting in your environment and saying, show me all the endpoints that are talking to 2.2.2.2. You might not get any other endpoints. And you're like, okay, this was an isolated infection. Only this machine was compromised. Let's reimage and move on. In reality, 30 machines in your environment could be popped and they're just all communicating with different IPs that are rotating around. So it makes basically threat hunting and incident response much more challenging to make sure that you've cleaned up the full compromise. All right, let's keep going.
This is 20-year-old privacy risk. The upcoming release of Chrome 136 will introduce a triple key partitioning of visited links as a default feature, resolving an issue that could allow for a third party to determine a user's browser history. Chrome introduced this as an optional experimental feature in Chrome 132. Until this feature, Chrome stored links visited globally, allowing sites to show visited links in a color other than the familiar default blue. This color change is shown regardless of what site you're actually on when clicking the link. Researchers have found multiple classes of attacks and scripts to enable tracking, profiling, and phishing from this behavior. The new partitioning will store each visited site with 3 keys, based on the link URL, top-level site, and frame origin. The browser needs all 3 keys to display a link as visited on the page.
All right. In full disclosure, my son just came out. I don't know what we were talking about, and we're actually at time. So I'll leave it as an exercise for everybody. The Chrome browser, I use Chrome among other browsers. I use different browsers for different things. Honestly, Microsoft Edge is based on Chromium. A couple of them are based on Chromium now. This sounds like it's a privacy one. Remember, privacy does fall within the scope of information security. There's a Venn diagram overlap that you should be aware of. And yeah, that's that. Sorry, team. I know I try to provide you a high quality educational program every single day and give you hot takes on all the stories. That particular last one, my son was here and he knows that I'm streaming right now. So for him to come over here, it had to be important, which it kind of was. So yes, sir. Okay, let's go. At least it shows you that I'm a real human and not a AI thing. All right, really quick, don't go anywhere because I got some hot news for you really quickly. Let me see. Guys, I just want to say don't go anywhere. Eric Taylor from Barricade Cyber Solutions will be doing jaw jacking. Thank you, Funky Monk. We'll be doing jaw jacking, a 30-minute Ask Me Anything session right now. Guys, at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. I emailed 30,000 people yesterday, and I'm telling you 500 right now. At 1 p.m. today, we are doing our monthly Lunch and Learn series for Simply Cyber Academy. This is a free, open to everybody webinar. Ryan Tidwell, Phantom 4, Sun Suyula, like everybody, come on down. I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to be leaning into my wheelhouse here. I'm going to show you how to do audits, and I'm going to use the CIS 18 control family as the backdrop to that, just so we have something to kind of, scaffolding to wrap around. It's going to be fun. It's a 1 hour high value, like very dense webinar. I made a whole slide deck for it. It's going to be all about good times. Let me drop a link to this in chat. There we go. Joseph, I am AI. So please come to the Lunch and Learn. Share with your friends. Like these Lunch and Learn series, we're trying to do it to add value to the community. I think it's a super cool idea. The other thing I want to tell you for Ryan Tidwell and others, hold on one second. This course right here, I made this course last week. This thing is this thing's fully loaded out. I have beta testers going through it right now. This course has a very Simply Cyber public-facing name, GRC Foundations for Modern Cybersecurity. But the secret name that you and I should know is what the hell is GRC, and is it a job I actually want? That's the actual name of that course. What the hell is GRC, and is it a job I want? I literally answer both of those questions to excruciating levels of detail. It's probably 2 hours of content. There's self-reflection lab exercises in there that I know sounds very, Rick Rubin-esque, but trust me, if you can spend a weekend and save yourself 6 to 9 months of heartache because your GRC is not for you, right on. And if GRC is for you, you're going to be turbocharged because you're going to know exactly what to do. Like I said, stay tuned for that. This will be a very likely pay what you can free. Like it'll be available for free to everybody. I think I'm going to make it like $25, $20 or something like that with a 100% off code. So if you want to support, you can. And if you don't, like get in there and grab it up. I'm hoping to release this potentially for this week. It depends on how quick the beta testers come back with feedback. So look forward to that. I'm super excited. I'm very excited about this course. I literally am very excited about this course. All right, guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Allow me to introduce Eric Taylor from Barricade Cyber Solutions. This guy's going to melt your face. Get your questions ready because he's got answers. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber, heading off to the Citadel. Until next time, y'all, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
What is going on? How's everybody doing? There is 471 people here. I want to bring y'all up on some news. So I'll introduce myself in just a second, but y'all haven't seen it on this. It wasn't discussed today because it just literally happened this morning, but I want to bring everybody's attention to it. So if you're in the space, you're in CTI, you're in forensics, you're in OSINT, all that stuff, breachforms.st was one of the places that sell a lot of wares and breach data, and there's also a number of initial access brokers that are on it. We've seen the alerts come around on our CTI platform of a DNS change around 3:40 this morning, roughly, and then there was communication saying that it got changed over to breachforms.cc. We'll kind of zoom in here so you can kind of see, yep, breach forms. And Baha Comet, I guess the user's name is. Essentially what they are doing is making this a paywall now for breach forms for their next version. I was like, you know what, let's spend a few minutes this morning and see what's going on. So I reached out to the Jackwagon on Telegram, and they pretty much want, if you want God rank, which is like elite status on the forums, you can pay $250. Or if it's if you just want VIP, it's $150. They provided a Bitcoin address that we're going to be monitoring. As of right now, there's been nobody making any sort of payments. One thing to note that I'm quite unsure of at this moment, is this going to be a site that is this going to be a wallet for all people, or are they going to take the traditional threat actor mentality and each client or victim has their own wallet for tracking purposes? Talking with some other folks, it looks like, and I haven't vetted this by any means, but the Baha Comet individual is been wanted by the FBI for a couple of years now, maybe even as far back as 2003 or 2023. So something to be aware of. You heard it here first, type of thing. So yeah, I was trying to do some digging because this is not the first time the breach forms has been seized by any means. If you've been around for a while, you know. But I was trying to find out if they're on the most wanted. I'll have to do an OFAC check against the IRS and see what happens. One other tool I've been working on that you may have seen me talk about on LinkedIn a little bit. I just added some changes to it. But so this tool, and I'm not sure how this is going to get pushed out or anything like that. So a lot of times you're doing an investigation, you got a slew of IP addresses, and most of the websites out there are like, put 1, 5, 10 IP addresses, and they're specific to freaking IPv4 or IPv6. Like, this does not help when you have to ingest thousands of IP addresses, right? So I originally had a PowerShell command that would go through and push it out as a text. I'm like, that's good, sort of. but I need to be able to filter. So I'm like, F it. Let's make a PowerShell GUI application, right? And this is what this really, really is. So we'll zoom this in. Oh, come on, zoomy. There we go. So as you can see, I'm entering up to 1,000 IP addresses or 10,000 IP addresses. It's actively searching, and it took a while for me to actually get this thing kind of flowing the way that I wanted to. I'm working on toward exit nodes right now, so I'm not sure if you're able to see. Is it not going to resize for me? There it goes. This thing's a resource hog a little bit, so like when this thing is running, it's 70 megs, just chunking data. But it automatically goes through. The one thing I definitely wanted to do, because I am using an external API that I have to pay for just to process all these, and I'm using Abuse's IPDB. So there is a paid subscription you're going to have to get to run this thing, especially at the volume that we're trying to. But it is processing 291's IPs. I definitely wanted to make sure that my tool went through and omitted duplicate IP addresses. So the one thing to note is, like, you're seeing, you're in Entra ID, you're in Google Workspaces, you're in IIS, whatever the question is, there are, a lot of times duplicate IPs, and I don't want to keep burning up, API calls and slowing the process down, because I'm still going to take this information, go back to my logs, and see what users correlated with which IP address. So, I can dump it, I can let this thing run for a few minutes, come back, check it, and be able to do that. I wanted to automatically go through and see where's my mouse? There it is. Go and ignore invalid IP addresses from, just a reporting issue or whatever. The one thing I really, really like, let's see if I can get this thing done while I'm in Zoom. Well, no, it's going to just make me do this. Figures. So we can, as it's running, we can filter by the country to see where it's coming from. And what do you know? We have a Russia IP address. Interesting. US-based company has a Russian IP from IT Hostline Ltd. That's worth investigating. And again, this is just a tool that I've created and been kind of fuddling with as we're working a bunch of BEC cases and stuff. So, we're going through it. So trying to see when the last time it was reported on Abuse IPDB, domains, total reports. So yeah, that's kind of the latest tool that I'm working on right now. I'm trying to create it make it as a website, but like I've told everybody here before, that my website skills suck. So this may be something that I've got some of it put together. And let's see, I do. You know what? I'll show you what I have so far. And this may be something that I have put in. So again, this is just the website that I've put together. I've been throwing it together, trying to get it to work, but it's not querying the right way, right? So we'll see if I can get it to work. This may be something that I have to drop into Grok or something, or Grok, how you pronounce it, and see if it can help me fuddle through some of my errors and things of that nature, or it may just be a PowerShell just to keep dedicated, because let's be honest, right? It's one thing to look up a CVE, but when you're trying to ingest a bunch of IP addresses, should that be a web app? I don't know. So maybe it's something I post on the blog, and then you'll have to get your own API key. We'll talk about that for a second too, because I do see questions coming in. I will get to them in a moment. I'm just kind of stalling a little bit while we go through this. But just so everybody's aware, ipdb.com, I think it is. Yeah, so I mean, $19 a month, I don't think is too bad, right? 1,000 IP addresses are able to be checked per day. And I think that goes off of the IP address that's sending the request, right? So I don't know too much about it, but this may be a cool thing to do, right? So I'm not sure if it's going to be on the forums of Barricade, and you can download it and run it as you wish. And then if you wanted to do more, then you can do the basic or the premium, depending on your needs. But this tool really is designed for people who are in the trenches and really need to process a lot of stuff. Because I'll tell you, I've been on BEC cases, and Microsoft, in their infinite wisdom, will list a German IP address as South American. Why? I don't know. It's just what Microsoft does. Their lookup tool is, in my personal opinion, complete trash. So we'll kind of leak some stuff out about it, all that. We'll kind of figure out what to do with it. So we'll sort it out. All right, let's look for questions. There's 5 of them, it looks like right now. What program is this? This is literally, right now, the working title that I have for the tool is DFIR IP lookup, because I'm clever. So that is a tool that I'm currently calling it, DFIR IP lookup. I got the domain name, so wherever I decide to point this thing to, it'll just be a redirect to GitHub or the blog post or whatever, wherever we decide to stick this thing at. I do think I'm probably going to filter out and, once I get the node, the Tor nodes properly identified here, and of course, if anything comes up there, have a separate box up here just to list them out one by one that comes up, is what I'm thinking. And then, so that way nobody has to keep hard creds in their application. Just put like a box here where you can put your IP or your API key or something like that. Does that become inconvenient? Yes. So, no, but I mean, what's the real danger of this hard-coded API? None, really. But, it's just based off of practice, right? We should never have hard-coded creds inside of an application. So that is the tool that I'm working on this week. I do have, so we also have one other tool. So everybody knows about EPSS tool. We got the DFIR IP tool. After we go, so we have the webinar this Friday, Thursday. Crap, I got to finish getting that together. For Windows Recycle Bin Forensics. Really, it's much like this tool is very very narrowly focused on audience and people who just potentially want to get in there. And I checked on it this morning. 85 people actually registered for that webinar. That is crazy. Way more than I ever thought it would be. So thank you to all who are Simply Cyber folks that have registered for the tool. Probably going to bore a lot of people, but here we go. I have one other tool that's going to take a while to develop, but it is a incident response plan. So right now I'm going through and trying to secure the front end and do the registrations and all that. And literally this website that I hope to make a mobile app later will simply be a framework for you to build out. How many of you have worked in a restaurant before or worked at like a big box facility, a retail shop per se, Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, or whatever? You're back in the manager's office or manager's cubicle, whatever, like if you've worked at Pizza Hut, Domino's, whatever, and they have that list on the wall of all the people you call in case of XYZ. Your plumbing breaks, you call Bob the plumber. Your electrical breaks, you call Mr. Sparky. Ooh, that's actual business, not endorsed. But you call Sparky Joe. You have all that. Most businesses don't have this sheet. So it's literally incident response builder, and it's going to walk you through creating that document that you can print out and be on your in your file cabinet, on your shelf, whatever. So if an incident happens, you could either log into the site. That's why I want to make it as secure as possible. And you'll see who's your insurance carrier, who's your forensic people, who is in charge of communication, who's your legal representation. And it gets people talking about these type of things, right? So that's going to be a tool that's going to take a while to come through, I think. Maybe not, but after I get through some of these projects and tools that I'm doing, then that will be our next one. So stay tuned for that if that's something that your business needs. Right now, as soon as it's launched, it'll be for free. Will it become a paid item later? Maybe, I don't know. I guess it just depends on how much data it stores. Because the way I envisioned it at first was a one-time shot creation tool. But then I was like, that's not really going to help people in an incident if they want to, or if they want to come back next year and just update that policy, then they need to be able to log in, pull up all their stuff, make necessary changes instead of spending an hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, creating that tool or creating that workflow, right? So, a way for the people to be able to save it, reproduce it quickly and effectively will be the name of the game. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. That's kind of what's going on our side a little bit. From Slim Daddy, I'm new to cybersecurity. Well, welcome, but not new to IT 30 years. Good. Would a proxy server with timed just-in-time security measure defeat beaconing and or exfiltration by hackers? No. JIT, just-in-time permissions, is just for privilege escalation. Once you have it, you can beacon out wherever you want. I like where you're going, though. It's a good concept. But if you look at it from a workflow standpoint, so people who don't know, just in time is literally you are a normal user, you need administrative privileges, or you need to invoke administrative privileges for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever the case is, and you're getting just in time permissions. ThreatLocker's known for this, right? They're not the only tool out there. Auto Elevate. There's another one too that is escaping me that's in the industry, but I digress. You get temporary privileges to do that, and he's wondering if a proxy server that would ensure traffic being routed would defeat those type of items. No. Unfortunately, it's not, because it's two different mechanisms. A proxy server generally will help ensure things are not being beaconed out. However, you can easily, with the command line, change the proxy server, and JIT is going to do that, right? So you invoke administrative privileges to change your proxy server. So I do like where you're going with that, Slim Daddy. I like that a lot. You're thinking outside the box. But two different ends of the workflow, unfortunately. The Cyberlorian, if I pronounce that right, I believe. Do you have any recommendations on how to go about sending crypto wallets securely, like one-time transactions, to get those access? For example, is buying credit to get access to a thread. Cyberlorian. Let me save your comment. The reason I say that is I don't know if I'm allowed to answer that question on this podcast without getting in trouble. I will say, however, that most cryptocurrencies are fully traceable, unless you're going through like a randomizer, a tumbler, or whatever. But going into talking about making payments to breach forms and other sites, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that on this platform. I saved the screenshot. I'll ask Jerry in mod chat a little bit later, and I will get his feedback. And if so, I should be back Thursday, and then I'll answer your question at that time if I get his blessing on that particular thing. So I just want to be respectful, not my platform. I do have a lot of latitude in what I do, but I think that one may cross a line of my latitude and being in line with the platform. So question for Maurice Martin: will there be any labs for the recycle bin forensic course? It's not a course. It's just a webinar. We're just talking about it. No labs. It's not a course. Nope. We're not getting CPEs. Could you register or claim it as a continuing education? I'm sure I will be an instructor. I'm leading you through it. That does qualify as community-led CPEs. But I'm not touting that. It's just, and to be honest with you, the webinar may last 20, 30 minutes. It's not very in depth, but I don't think I've had a lot of people ask, how does a forensic firm do forensics in a recycle bin? Like, they see all these numbers and these letters and all this stuff. And yeah, you can spend 5 minutes on Google and study it. And it's kind of what we're doing, right? So it's probably going to be a 20-minute, 30-minute webinar, if that. Depends on how yakety I get and starting to yammer. There's really not a lot to it, but it's something that's not talked about much. So I figured, what the heck? I'm getting a bunch of people asking during my cases, how we do this. So let's spend a few minutes to talk about it, right? That's literally what it is. I will probably bore people to tears. Question from Steve: I just started a SEC manager position. Congratulations, Steve. I have an AA for career growth. I want to start getting certifications instead of going back for a degree. Okay. What are some good cyber SEC degrees to start with? You know what, Steve? I can throw a ton of stuff at the wall and see if any of them stick. The best people to ask are the people in your organization, your higher management. Say, hey, Bob, I'm going back to get certs and or degree. What path would you here at Bob Sprockets think I should do that would be a benefit to the organization? and see what they come back with. If I woke up in your shoes, that's what I would do. Question, maybe Microsoft investigated that German IP and found that it was a relay for... No, the Microsoft Geo lookup just is trash, Slim Daddy. They get it right about 98% of the time. But it's enough that I'm like, I just don't trust it. So... let's refresh. Those who don't know, definitely put a Q colon mark in there. So that way I can easily find your question. All right, Phil, have a good one. Bob Sprocket hiring? Dude, I don't know. I think the obvious choice is to just YOLO on crypto mining and never tie it to you on an exchange. Yeah, I mean, that is literally what a lot of people have done over the years. You know, you mine crypto and you have it in your own private, and then you just send it out where you need to, and it's never with a broker like Coinbase, Binance, or any of those other organizations where they do know your customer. Right, so that is a thing, good sir. That is very much a thing. I forgot to look at my schedule. I don't think I have anything critical coming up, but we are running low on questions. We are down from 475 viewers down to 273. Yep, very cool, very cool. All right. Yep, like Notbot said, if you're getting some value out of this, please. Okay, Kim, I see it. Let me load up Discord. Discord. Because there may be some questions that I am not seeing. Oh, now I'm getting pinged. Oh, that's Black Hills. Where's... I hate Discord. There we are. Now I got to refresh for the past 6 days. All right, so question just came in that I see here in chat. My end goal is to become red team pen team or red team teamer or pen tester. Would it be a good idea to start in SOC and pivot, or just jump right into red teaming and bug bounty? I don't know, and that's... I think there is a lot of value in being a SOC analyst when you're going to be red teaming, because a lot of times you're trying to fly under the radar and you're trying to be not create so much noise, stuff like that. In a couple of years being a SOC analyst, you will learn what kind of triggers things, and you know how different SOC analysis look at, oh, excuse me, got the hiccups all of a sudden, how they look at certain things. So it's a good insight. Do you need it? No. But I do think it will shed light and be a valuable resource. So definitely give it a consideration. You don't need it, but I do think it will give you massive insight. When... Oh, that's not a question. What's going on with the 4chan hack? I don't know. It's 4chan. I honestly don't know. Kathy Chambers, what's up, girl? When are you going to get a barricade cyber sign or something behind you? Time to step. I honestly used to right here have a barricade cyber logo there. I need to get OBS reinstalled and all that stuff. I need to do something. That is an awful lot of wall. Awful lot of wall. I'm getting from mod chat from Justin Gold that 4chan got popped by an outdated PHP. Oh, you got to update it. They didn't have Casually Joseph updating their PHP for 4chan is what happened. All right. Going through mod chat right now, trying to get caught up. That was at 8:52, so that was directed at Jerry. Just in time. What program is this? Do you have any recommendations on going? So there were some additional questions about the tool. So I'll share that. So it literally is just a PowerShell script that is built to run a GUI. So we'll load up ICE because I've got this in a sandbox, so I don't have Visual Studio on here. But it literally is just a PowerShell script, you know, and it's just creating stuff. But yes, the premise is, and again, it's nothing special. Like I see in the comments, right? So you just click and input PS commands through that API from Ryland Tidwell. Yes, literally, I copy and paste a bunch of IP addresses from a forensics output, dump it in here, push out, look up IP addresses, and I get it back as a table, right? So nothing special, but I do think it will. I know it helps me. So, and you know, I'll put it out there. If it'll help you, then great. If not, no big deal. Question from Mildred Maha. Sorry, Mildred. Let me find you here. Again, I'm Maha, or sorry, Mildred, if I'm butchering your name. If this is your first time here, Hooked on Phonics never worked for me. Do you have any course on malware analysis or incident response? No, I do not. And I'm being told that's my next project. No, I don't know if that is. Now, Kimberly, I'm just catching up so Kimberly can fix it as crapping on me. Bro, how do you host and not bring up this mod chat? All right, so Jax asked, let me find. So, folks, not beating you up, or Jack, not beating you guys up, but for me to be able to quickly find it, make sure you put a Q in the front of it, please. It just helps. It just helps. From my work experience is from blue collar jobs. Me too. How do I apply that to resume geared towards a SOC analyst level 1 position? To be honest with you, I would go to Black Hills and take a couple of their SOC analysts and introduction to SOC analyst courses. If you're an entry level, they're not going to expect you to know a whole lot, but if you go, you show that initiative that you're taking classes, you're trying to be into it, you'll get you some places. I think, let me just do a refresh here. From Slim Daddy, beaconing and exfiltration. How about requiring 2FA MFA on proxy servers use and access? Sorry, the screen didn't freeze. I'm thinking that one conceptually. So it's I'm not trying to crap all over the idea. I see where you're going. Yeah, I think honestly, this is a question to really be posed as an EDR question, or a question to your EDR vendor, because a lot of your EDRs should be seeing those weird beaconing IP addresses. Because let's take a step back to answer your question directly. You're going to have, just like in Microsoft and all this, you're going to have a session token, because otherwise you're going to have some poor bastard, pressing the authenticate button a billion times a minute, because Microsoft is always, and even Linux and Mac, they're always beaconing out. All OS is beacon. It's just what's legitimate versus what's illegitimate beaconing for threat hunting, right? The very simple thing is the OS beacons out location data. Is there an update? Things of that nature, like basic core fundamentals that the OS is constantly beaconing out and making those calls. So you're going to have to put a session token in. What does that session token look like? Every 6 hours, every 12, 24, 48, just to re-authenticate. And then what is that going to look like? Is that going to be a TOTP code that can be potentially brute forced by a threat actor? Maybe. I can't tell you how many applications I've got a username and password for and just put in a burp suite and brute force a TOTP code. MFA would work, because then at least you got to do it in a remote setting, because it's going to do a push notification to your third party. So if you're trying to renew your session in a remote, let's say you're at home, you need to remote in after dinner and renew it, you can start it. It's going to kill your internet session to a degree, and then the MFA, you'll accept it, and then you'll be able to gain access back into the system. So that would work. But I think that's a lot of, to me, of over engineering a simpler solution that an EDR can help you track down. I think. I mean, there may be a really good use case that I'm not thinking of, right? Like hypothetically, this system needs to be an air gap system except for certain functions, and you're going to allow communication out for that. And I mean, EDRs could do that too, but this would be a more simplistic way of doing it because it wasn't authenticated out through the proxy. Therefore, yeah. So I mean, I can see some use cases where that's going to be happening. Yeah, I would have to see the use case or talk about the use case a while. It's a thought. It's a thought, some daddy. Question: how about a good source material for malware? Oh, so there is. I'm not sure if it's a separate training, but the dude that runs 13 Cubed and his oh wow, he's actually getting some stuff. That's pretty cool. I thought 13 Cubed had. I know this price is a little crazy. I thought he had malware on it. I just got Linux, Windows, and memory. Okay. Oh, that's cool. He's putting together Mac OS endpoints. Very nice. I'll have to look. Because I honestly thought this dude, again, I can't remember his freaking name to save my life right now. But I thought he had malware analyst. Does Black Hills, I think, has something on that, right? Let's see. We're all learning together, ladies and gentlemen. Windows memory forensics, play backdoors and breaches. Huh, I thought. I really thought that they had a malware analysis. Let's try it this way. Not at least. Is this on pay? It is. Dadgummit. I would check the Antisyphon courses, bud. This won't let me just list them all and sort it out, and I'm not seeing it by search, but I could have sworn Antisyphon training had something. It may have been something at one of their conferences. I could have swore they had something. And Kathy Chambers is probably in chat yelling at me. I would check Black Hills Antisyphon training, to be honest with you, bud. What do you think is the most overlooked skill is that cybersecurity students lack? Fundamental knowledge. or well, real world. How do I phrase this correctly? Real world experience, and they're a student. They're not going to have real world experience. A lot of times, applications and things just work in different ways, and you're going to have. And when you're a student, you're going to have the practical, what's being taught by the book, and you have real world experience. And unfortunately, students come out of school thinking they know it all. And they know a fair amount. Don't get me wrong. They went through some training. They conceptually understand what's going on from a high level, being able to do it or understand it in a real world environment. They just don't have that experience yet, right? So, and that leads to the other problem is students believe that they get this big head on their shoulders, that they know so much because they went to schooling for this, and they really don't know much. So being humble when you're a student to say, okay, I've got this degree or I'm getting this degree, this is, a paid for hack the box scenario in a college setting, right? You're working in a lab environment and you're learning, Wikipedia stuff, right? I'm being facetious, but you understand what the concept I'm saying. So being humble and realizing that you're just starting out with real world items and trying to get things done or being able to understand is a soft skill that I think a lot of students would benefit from being able to know or be able to be a little bit more patient on. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Curious Nick has asked one, and first, thank you so much for putting that up there, Miss Kimberly. Trying to find it. Oh, there we are. All right. Curious Nick asked, interested in red team pen testing, but no path to follow with training classes, certs, data camp for Python, hack the box, and the hacker mentor lab course is a separate PHP. Any of this useful? Curious Nick, I wish I had an answer for you. Unfortunately, I would say definitely talk to the folks in Discord and here in chat. A lot of people that follow and are here, they use the Cyber Mentor, Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, all that stuff, Antisyphon. So I would say look at your peers in here and in the Discord chat for relevant information, right? On what they've been useful for. Like, there's been a lot of people who rave about, was it GS, the online call. I am having such an ADHD moments this morning. Like, I cannot keep a single thought in my head to save my life. WGU, WGU, the online course or a college, casually. Joseph's gone through it. He may even be done by now. He's working for the big boys now, so he doesn't talk to us peasants much anymore. So if he's not done with it, he's probably getting near the end of it, I would imagine. So definitely talk to him. He's raved about it. He shoots straight from the hip. He'll tell you the pros and cons of it. I know a lot of other people here as well do. So Again, that wasn't just me pivot, say go to WGU. I'm just saying there's a lot of people here that they'll give you the real scoop on stuff, right? So consider talking to the people here in chat and over on Discord. And go talk to Antisyphon too. There's a lot of people over there. Piggybacking on his question, what would you consider the most fundamental knowledge? Humility. You'll get real world, but this industry will burn you the F out. Having humility is the most fundamental knowledge. Know what you know and know what you don't know. I mean, and being willing to accept it and talk to people. Humility, I think, is the biggest skill, even for me. I don't know everything by a long shot. Like I just talked about a little bit ago, I was struggling making a website work to dump a bunch of IPv4 and IPv6 addresses back to me. That I may have to use AI and help me figure out where in the world I'm screwing stuff up at. EPSS tool. I had to use AI to build a lot of that JavaScripting that you see, because JavaScript isn't my forte. I can muddle around in it, but it gets real funky. So I had to use some JavaScript to help me out on that. And I'm always asking questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, right? So be willing to accept that you don't know everything, and just try to partner yourself with people that can get you honest answers. That's the other key thing, I think. Travis, do you do mobile forensics? Yes, we do. We do not get a lot of it, but we do mobile forensics, yes. I'm actually getting ready to order 2 more iPhones because some of the newest OSs have changed the way things are working. And the iOS devices that I have won't update to the latest version. So there's some nuances there to parse through. So, but yeah, we do. iOS is a giant pain in the backside. Android is a lot easier to do forensics on just because of the encryption. And it may be one of those things that I have to end up buying a Celebrate device or something, so that way I can pull everything off of an iOS device, which I'm not looking forward to. But if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. Jax, we are in the Valley of Despair. What are you talking about? Oh. This goes back to the humility, Jax. Just being humble, dude. And in a way, you're admitting you're either realizing these things and just need to take a step back. Jax, I will say the one thing I've talked about most, and I probably should talk about this a little bit more, is knowing how to get up and step away. If you're in digital forensics getting started into it, you should already know this, but if not, this is to you as well. But SOC analysts need to have what I call a standing walking cadence. Literally, you stand up and you go on an effing walk. Even if it's around your house, you're stepping away from the computer, You're going outside, you're breathing fresh air, potentially touching grass, picking up loose trash out, touching your grass, picking up trash that might have blown into your drive, letting the dogs out, throwing the ball for a few minutes, getting that 5, 7, 10 minutes every 3 or 4 hours or something. If you could do it more, great, but you've got to get up and step away to remove the tunnel vision. Even all these years I've been doing it, Jax, I still have to do it. I still got to stand up like, yep. I like 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, and it's 3 hours later. Like I got to get the F up. I got to step away. Kimberly mentioned you may be talking about the job market being valley of despair. If you are talking about the job market, yes. And I wish I had insight on that. I really do, but I don't. Unfortunately, was my Q just highlighted? It is. And y'all see in the ticker right here? That is weird that my search filter in the browser is showing up that way. That is crazy. Just going to show you, I'm literally typing in my find Q, and you'll see I will do that, and it goes away. I'm literally doing Q colon in find. And I never realized it would have showed up on screen like that. See, that right there is called bug, pen testing. That's part of pen testing. Seeing weird stuff that shouldn't happen. I mean, there's not an exploit there, but some weird, right? That shouldn't be coming through like that. All right, folks, we are coming up. Oh, let's see. Is the encryption on iPhone the same as Mac OS? Yes. If so, maybe there's a way of doing processing on a more powerful desktop to get the task done easier. Would that work? Maybe. iOS as a whole, iPhone, Mac OS, all that is geared to be secure by design. That's why you don't see as many reports about crazy apps in the Apple Play Store, because they make it so hard to get into it, right? They try to have a closed ecosystem as much as possible. So it is something I got to dig more into, because we are being asked to get into it more and more. So maybe I'll create a video on something like that. I don't know. I move horizontally in supply chain, growing veggies, and mushrooms too. Sure. All right, everybody, we are at the top of the hour. I think that's everything. Let's see. Answered that one. Oh, Slim Daddy. You've had a lot of questions today, Slim Daddy. Thank you so much for them. Would knowing their salary ranges versus the top salary range humble them? By the way, I engaged in a thought experiment to get my head in the game, ask good questions, and hopefully find... Yeah, dude, you're in here asking the questions. I'm trying to remember... Yeah, that would be a good tactic, especially if you're starting out, right? Yeah. And most of the job posts will put that on there, right? Any legitimate should give you an idea of the range. Sorry, I'm full of ADHD today. Yeah, I do think I have them all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. There's still 205 of y'all crazy mofos here, and I do appreciate and love each and last one of you for tuning in and sticking around for as long as you have. Please go out there, share this content with somebody. I know today was a little bit of a train wreck, again, because of my ADHD. So sorry about that. I will make sure to do better for Thursdays. But I hope everybody enjoys their day. Go out there, crush it, and be curious, my friends. Until next time.
There once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same, a criminal then found their fame by taking that data to go. Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.
And